So I'm back, you guys. I got a lot that I want to talk about today. I'm gonna give you guys like a couple of minutes to get in here. I already know that a lot of people are not gonna like me for saying this, but I'm still gonna say it. I don't care. I honestly don't care about what anybody thinks about what I'm getting ready to say. But in December, Trump cut food benefits for over 700,000 Americans because I think that they've changed the rules to where if you are single or and then they have like work requirements or something. It's I haven't read the whole thing, but I know that I saw an article that said in December that it was a terrible time to be poor in America right now. Now, I feel like every poor person can change their situation around. But I want to say to Trump, please do not cut food for these kids. I don't get them, okay, because previously I was already getting a housing benefit. And then, I was making enough money to where, the assistance that I was getting for the housing was offsetting the cost of food, which can run you a lot of money. It can to feed your family costs a lot more money than those benefits that they get. Okay, I'm just telling you guys, it costs you more because number one, you have to pay taxes on it. The taxes over here in Georgia are extremely reasonable. Okay, the taxes over in Kansas are ridiculous, and in Missouri, but over here in Georgia, the taxes are a lot lower. I think that's why a lot of people in Georgia, they don't really want it seemed like they feel like the more people that come over here to Georgia, like the cost of living is going to go up or something. I don't know. I want to say to Trump, instead of cutting food stamps, jail deadbeat fathers. Put them in jail. Actually put them in jail for a year or two. Here's why. Because number one, women are very, very vulnerable to the men in our communities. Some of these women have had children that have been the result of incest, date rape, and other forms of rape. The problem in the communities are, in fact, the deadbeat fathers. Let me tell you how comfortable they've gotten. They will have several children old and, older kids dang near 20, and they won't have a sustainable income. But yet these same men will produce even more children that they will not take care of. This is the problem. The problem is the men. And then not only because there's a lot that comes along with it. Now I'm talking directly to Trump. Okay. I'm talking directly to Trump. I don't know if he's going to listen to this, but what I can tell you is that the direct problem is the men in the community. Hey, hold on a second. Hold on. Honey, it's not playtime. Why? Good Lord. So here's what I think. We can talk politics and we can talk budget, but another thing that comes along with not taking care of the children, another thing that comes along with it is the harassment, the stalking, and the constant degrading of the women. These men, if they were, hold on a second, guys. Jacob, Sorry about that, child. He's over here demanding ice cream, not food, ice cream. Literally, that's what he wants is ice cream. The problem is that women are very vulnerable. So the children that are being produced because of men and their way of overpowering women. Now, of course, I know that we have a generation of women that is coming up. They not playing that. They have closed off their reproductive portals to these broke men. And I don't blame y'all. Just don't judge us, the people that went through the struggle, because trust me, we helped change the situation. So just don't judge other women that had children with these deadbeat fathers, because that is what is happening. The problem is the men. Rape is still a huge problem in our communities. Incest is still a huge problem in the communities. We can tell all these fairy tales about what women do, but in reality, we know that in every like in every neighborhood, there is a child being molested by her father. Okay. Yes, I'm asking Trump, please don't cut food to these babies. These women need that money. You know why? Because at the same time, the women are dealing with psychological and emotional and spiritual attacks from these men. So I know, because I had to get those benefits for years. I had to get food stamps for years, because the men will constantly keep you in a state of poverty, and they induce poverty in your life. I mean, they show up at our jobs. They do all sorts of stuff. These types of deadbeat men are the bane of society. They've been having sets of children for years. These men will be 50 something years old, and they'll have an older set of children that they never took care of, and then they'll move on to a second set of children that they never took care of, and then they'll be moving on to a third set of children, to the point where they have 7 or 8 children that are being supported by the state because they won't do it. That it's not that they can't do it. These people are perfectly able-bodied. They're making videos on YouTube, walking up and down the street. If you have the capability to turn on your phone and walk up and down the street and talk crazy to somebody online, you have the ability to support your family. You're able-bodied. If they would put these men in jail for a year or two, they would learn their lesson. I believe that they need to set up a special jail for these men. Now, I realize that this could possibly create a domestic violence problem for women, because as they stiffened the laws against men, more violence began to happen to women. So, Trump, this is not just about your budget. This is about human beings and what is actually happening with us. These men are laughing in the face of the system. They are laughing at women. They think it's a joke, and they don't even care about their own blood, their own offspring. So the women should not have to be punished for that. I'm keeping it real, because that is something I feel like it's one of those things. It's human nature. This is the reason why poor people reproduce, because it's not about being rich or poor. But I will tell you that when you are in a position that where you do get your mind healthy, to where you can sit down and you can say, okay, this is my plan, and this is how I'm going to execute this plan. But we cannot have these men in our communities beating down on the women. And I understand it's all about the money for you, Trump. I understand that. But you know what? I feel that a billionaire like yourself should be trying to end poverty. And I believe that's what Trump is trying to do, because I believe that he's trying to scare people awake. You know what I'm saying? But there's some people that have mental and physical disabilities. These people may not have the capability for whatever reason, and they're still human and they still matter. So what I'm saying is that, especially when it comes to deadbeat fathers, They are literally stomping all over the system. And then they're being empowered by somebody. Why do these men feel confident enough to not take care of their responsibilities and then attack the women in the community that do? Okay. Yes, I agree. Ma Jones back, honey. Ma, M Jones back, honey dash. M Jones black, honey dash. How you doing? I'm gonna tell you something because deadbeat fathers, they are costing y'all a lot of money. And it's not about the children. The children should be here. They deserve to be here. But what they don't deserve is for their mother, because this is what's happening. Y'all think look, a lot of the stuff that y'all see in social media, this is actually happening in real life to women. They are being attacked at every angle so that the man can continue these deadbeat fathers. The problem is the deadbeat fathers. They're the direct problem because they're the ones that's making the babies. This is the reason why there's such a huge debate on consent right now, because there's a lot of women that felt, well, some of them were raped, but some of them felt they had no choice but to have sex with this man. And please believe that many of them that are having sex with you, with these women, they're not using condoms and they're not pulling out. They're not. They're purposely trying to get you pregnant. Trust me, I know. I have 4 children, one angel baby. Now I'm not blaming like I'm not placing blame, because I was fortunate enough that I was raised by a very feminist mother. So, that will to survive was always put into me and instilled in me to survive without a man. But there's a lot of women, they're scared, they're young. You know what I'm saying? And these men literally make it difficult for us to say no. They're, I mean, literally crawling and clawing all over us. They're not making sure that we're on any birth control, which, for me, I think that there is a such thing as natural family planning, because birth control and all those shots and stuff, those things are bad for your hormones. But when you think about it, imagine having a baby that you can't feed. That's horrible. That's horrible when you're sitting there and you're a woman and you can't work. When you have a baby, you have to lay down for a couple of months. That's the reality of it. I know women that went back to work when their babies was 2 weeks old. I did it and I relapsed. I got so sick after I did that. As a woman, we're supposed to, when we have a baby. So let's start to get into the human side of this and start to realize, like, these are individuals, and they are going through it. And then also the men of the community, they are very aggressive. It doesn't matter what community they live in, they're very aggressive in their pursuit for sex. And babies get produced out of that sex. And to just expect a woman to go and abort her child is preposterous. That is, guys, I can't even tell you how ridiculous that is and how we have fallen so far from nature and from being human. When you just say, oh, we'll just go get rid of it. You can't just get rid of a whole child, a whole soul. So you guys know I have my own beliefs about that. My great grandmother taught me that. And it's something that's been instilled with me, because it was the truth that, those teachings that she gave me. But I think that women that have children, it is very common for these women to work jobs that is not near enough to support these children. And these men, if they would just pay 100 a month, 200 a month, 300 a month, if they would just do something, we could reduce the poverty. But the fact that these men are allowed to lay around, yes, I know it's a free country. Yes, I do believe in human rights. But do I believe that a man should be able to produce a child and abandon it and not take care of it and then go and draw welfare and food stamps himself without a thought process for the child. That's all I'm asking. While you're doing these cuts, please don't cut stamps to these babies that need it. Because a lot of these mothers, they're some of them are my clients. They make $12 an hour, $13 an hour is not enough to support a family. And these men have produced these families that they refuse to take care of because they probably either hit the woman. Domestic violence is a problem in America, but it's a silent problem. Most women don't even speak out about domestic violence. They won't tell because they feel like they're in love with these men. And these men, they have like this special hold on women to where we are so vulnerable, and these children are vulnerable. Now, I realize that something happened to where all these immigrant children came up missing. So I don't know if children and families are your main concern, or is it something else, because I don't really follow it. But I do know that just recently in December, they cut food stamps to more than 700,000 people. And they did cut it to people that either were taking too long to find a job, which I think that this is a start because they keep showing men. I know a man right now that gets food stamps in his daughter's name, doesn't give her anything, and uses the food stamps. So a lot of these food stamps, there's billions of dollars being wasted. Trust me, they're not actually taking care of these kids with that money. And I think that they should pay close attention to the living environment of any child, of any adult that is collecting those benefits. Because I bet you if you go to their house, they not nowhere near those kids, and that food is not reaching those kids. I have been trying to get my children out of the clutches of an impoverished man for years. And he decided, no, I'm going to keep my kids and draw welfare. And this is unfair. This is unfair to us women. And then not only that, to add insult to injury, they're degrading us. They're attacking us. We're working ourselves to the bone. There are times when I work 10 or 12 hours per day and I run my own business. So I know how hard these women are working. And they deserve a break. They do, because they are working hard, making somebody else rich. That's the reality of it. And it's unfair because there's so many children out here that don't have a decent meal to eat because of men. These men are creating poverty for the children purposely. I used to think it was a government conspiracy. The more and more I look at it, it's a society's conspiracy. It's man's revenge against the woman, which is so ridiculous because you produced a beautiful child that should have inspired you to get yourself together. But that didn't even do it. So what is it going to take? It's going to take for them to go to jail. It is. And I think these men that are harassing women at their jobs, they should be given a month in the slammer. Okay? I've had it happen to me. I had it happen to me. I had a man. I had 3 children to take care of. I had a good job. I had a promotion coming up. And he decided, because he domestically abused me. Okay? He domestically abused me to stop me from going to work. Because he broke into my house, he called down to my job and got me basically fired. They didn't fire me. I eventually had to leave because they started to mistreat me. So not only that, society mistreats the women and the children because the men are so evil. They throw them away. And this is extremely scary. I'm damn near about to go into tears because I can't believe that this is happening to us. I can't believe that they have literally abandoned us the way they have. I just, And that's why I'm so strong. That's one of the reasons why I said, God, I am going to be strong for these women so that they can know that they can make it, so that we don't have to sit here and struggle. They are inducting struggle into our lives. If we have good jobs and opportunities, they call and they defame us to our jobs. What are we supposed to do? Starve to death? If this is what's going on, I'm sorry. I'm not just concerned about me. I'm concerned about everybody. So I am not a selfish, evil person. I don't think that men should be allowed to do this crap anymore. And I'm going to be one to fight for it. I want to fight to change the laws to put deadbeat fathers in jail. These deadbeat fathers, instead of them working and taking care of their children, they're online every day getting donations from women hating men and women. It is disgusting. And you know what? At the end of the day, when these men are all but raping you, literally they will force your consent. They're forcing the consent. Even when you say, I am celibate, I don't want to have sex. I'm a mother of 4 living children, and for years I refrained from sex because I knew how fertile I was. And I knew that that the world is crawling with these deadbeat men, just dead inside. And I said, I am celibate. They shamed me for being celibate, said that it must be something wrong with me because I was celibate. No, I'm being responsible. I'm shutting down my portal so that I won't produce any more children that you refuse to take care of. And that you would shame me for even having. But then it's not only that, it's the fact that when you say no, they continue to harass you for your consent. And I believe that that has been worked into the rape laws because y'all want to know how many children are the result of date rape and rape. The only way that this world is going to be saved is if we start to value each other, in particular the woman. The woman has consistently been the slave of society. She has consistently been the scapegoat. It's never been a man. Men dump all their problems onto the women. This is something that a president should know about. This is something that the president of the United States, that has a high population of women, you should know about this. This is the reason why we wanted a woman in office. This is one of the reasons. We don't know if it would have made it better or worse, because I don't really watch the elections and stuff. I don't watch that stuff. But it's just the point that, this whole thing is getting to be ridiculous. And in the meantime, there are children that sometimes they don't even have proper shoes on their feet. They're walking to these school bus stops with holes in their shoes because their father went and spent all the money on either prostitutes or drugs or video game skins, Fortnite skins. He spent all the money on Fortnite skins and said, F them children. If I can't be with the mama, those aren't my children. That's called a deadbeat father. However way you spin it, that is a deadbeat father. Jail deadbeat fathers. I can guarantee you that the world would have been a better place if Tommy Sotomayor was in jail. I can assure you that this whole world would have been a better place if people like L-Bomb were in jail. If these people were in jail, would we be worried about this? No, because how do we know that these men are not just hiding behind the woman and the children? How do we know they're not actually out there raping and killing people and getting away with it? How do we really know what these deadbeat fathers are up to? They're definitely not taking care of their kids. They may just really be doing a lot more in society and just not getting caught. A deadbeat father is worthless, period. And he knows it. That's why he's coming down so hard on the woman. I'm sorry. If we don't start being hard about this, then I mean, these men will just destroy us and destroy the children. And that's not fair, because this is it's just disgusting. Can you imagine being the child born of a deadbeat father? Can you imagine being the child of a deadbeat father and the struggle that you're going to have to face in this world, and they don't care? Not to say that not to say that I would ever give the children back, but I think that when they go from house to house, making a baby here, 2, 3 babies here, oh, I got 2 or 3 babies over here, and then I'm going to go and make 2 or 3 babies right here. I think that those men need some sort of programming so that they can know how to be responsible. The women are being responsible. It's the men that are not being responsible for the most part. And we know this for a fact. So I am saying to the Trump administration, stop playing these little games and start looking at what is happening to the citizens of this country. And it's not just about the rich people or the wealthy people. It's about the poor people too. And yeah, I get it. I get that, anybody can change their situation. But what if you're somebody what if you're going through something? What if you're depressed? What if you're like many women who had a man, like I've seen women that had a man beat them up so bad that it damaged their brain. Y'all know that? Y'all know how many women out there, y'all think it's a joke, y'all think it's cute. Oh, pound cake, pound cake. You think it's cute. You know how many women out there have brain damage from being beaten by their spouses? And these are women that are very submissive. In fact, they beat submissive women worse. Domestic violence is an extreme problem in this country. And until we solve, hold on a second, hold on. Until we solve the problem of the domestic violence against the women, of rape against the women, it's going to continue to cost you billions of dollars. You're either going to have to jail these men, or you can cut benefits. But I think that if these men are not out here producing, and not only are they producing, but they're also hindering. Oh, please, you better believe that a deadbeat father, he's going to stalk you. He's going to stalk you at work because he don't have a job of his own. He's going to call you all day. He's totally lost and wandering around. For some reason, that's just like when you guys, somebody told me my clients, they be like, Jamila, I'm just going to pay you all at once. I don't want to do no payment plan, because it seems like every time I do a payment plan, it mess up. So these men, they say, oh, I'm going to make a baby and I'm going to take care of this child. But then for some reason, as soon as the child is conceived, they ready to act like they pregnant. They want to sleep all day. They don't want to get up and drink a cup of coffee and go and fight through that and get through it. You know what I'm saying? They want to, just hinder. And then when these women say, okay, I'm getting away from this person because I can do better by myself, they start to stalk us. Why are men allowed to stalk women? Why is it that I filed over 60 police reports for stalking and none of them was ever actually done? Nothing was ever done. Because these people that this is happening to, Trump, they matter too. They matter too. And those people probably and possibly almost got you impeached, because they feel that you're a problem because you don't care about real issues. All you care about is whatever you're trying to do with America, but you're not actually looking at the people and looking and seeing what's going on. Not to mention the fact that, a lot of these children that are produced out of this sometimes do go into the world and cost taxpayers a lot of money. People that work every single day. And I'm not talking about, just with food stamps. I would feed anybody. I don't care, man. I'll purposely donate money per month to keep the food stamp program going. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the cost of putting them in jail, things like that, because they're not functioning in society. And these non-functioning men are in fact harming the women and the children in their communities. Not to mention they're selling dope, they're doing drive-bys, and they're gang banging, white and black. These men need to go to jail, period. If they have been reported. But see, I think that this would increase the violence against women. It would probably increase the death rate, because whenever they stiffen the laws against men, the women turn up dead. It's been so many men that have killed the woman that was pregnant by them and the baby. So these men are like running around here like wild animals. What are we gonna do? They're harassing us on our jobs. They're defaming our character. They're trying to keep us in poverty. Where does that come from? Why is it so important for them to do that? And why isn't our government doing anything about it? That's why I told you guys the only protection that a woman actually has is through the spirit. Spirit will protect you. Spirit will provide for you. Seriously. Because you know what? It ain't kind out here. Okay? It's not. Just because Jamila is nice doesn't mean that it's kind out here. It's a cold, cold world. And, it just... Right. You're so right about that, Andrew. Andrew made a very good point. And I'm going to get to your last point, M. Jones. Oops. Andrew made a very, very good point. A lot of people shouldn't be on food stamps. They make it hard on the people who really need it, like the disabled. Exactly. Disabled people, anybody that's disabled, anybody that is either physically or mentally disabled, they should be the first one. If you are perfectly able-bodied, then you should, if it ain't no jobs out there, start a business. Okay, seriously. Now, I realize that at one point the economy was really bad. They're saying that the economy is really good right now. So the economy is good. You know what I'm saying? It's just that it's certain people. Yeah, I agree. Anti-ADOS guy. How you doing this morning or this afternoon? M. Jones says, I wish more women in the black community were educated on breastfeeding. Breastfeeding in the black community is taboo. You're absolutely right about that. I know that I didn't never get any backlash for breastfeeding, but I think that I have seen people get backlash from it. And breastfeeding is so good for your baby. Now, if you're smoking or drinking, then obviously you don't want to be breastfeeding. I don't see why, every time I gave birth, I wasn't smoking or drinking or anything. So I breastfed all of my children. I breastfed Jacob until he was 3. So I did extended breastfeeding for Jacob. And it did make a difference in his immune system because he's very healthy. He rarely gets sick. They deter. In fact, a lot of these men, they deter. They get the woman pregnant to trap her. And then they deter her away from the mothering that she's supposed to do. They're constantly interrupting. You know what I'm saying? They're constantly creating some sort of drama every single day. I mean, to be honest with you, what good is it being single when, if you're a public figure, you're going to experience baby daddy drama in social media every day. So not only that, if they can't get to their baby mama because they done went and hid out somewhere to get away from them, then they going to find some other woman. And I'm going to tell you something. Women like me are important. Because there's a lot of women out there that have children that are single, that need a voice of strength. They don't need to hear weakness. They don't need to hear, oh, I need a man so I can survive. No, you want a man so that you can, have that protection and that security. But, you as a woman, I mean, looking at the men that are out here, I mean, there's not a whole lot of good choices of men. I'm just keeping it real with you. It's really not. The pickings are slim, okay? Women have resorted to sharing a man. And then not only that, sharing him, but then taking care of him, which is a totally different story. I'm one that believes that a man that does not work should not eat. Okay. Uh-oh. I think my phone is freezing, y'all. Oh, no, it ain't. Okay. I'm going to go, guys. Okay, guys, my phone is starting to get hot. This is the harsh reality, though. This is the harsh reality of it, and it's a wake-up call. And every single time they go to advance these women so that they can obtain some sort of wealth, they're trying to stop her. They're trying to stop women from even having a decent income. So the men are a problem because not only are they not doing their job, they're not doing their part, but they're also hindering us and trying to handicap us on purpose so that they can be even more of a drag on the system. This is something that they have made up on their own. I used to believe that it was a government conspiracy. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But this is something that is happening in every freaking community. And then not to mention the financial abuse of women. Okay? Financial abuse can include withholding money for food from a man, withholding money for her to have, the basic necessities, punishing her by not feeding her, i.e. R. Kelly. Okay. And then also stopping the woman, getting her fired from her job, spreading rumors about her so that people will be deflected away from her so that she won't be successful. These are all forms of financial abuse. So if you get rid of these bum men, society will function much better. Create prisons for them, put them in there. They'd rather be with each other anyway. I'm just keeping it real with you. I think it should be illegal for men. The women are different. Please do not ever try to police our uteruses because we are going through enough already. Because you don't know how it feels to be a woman walking home at night from work. You don't know how it feels to be a woman that has to take the subway. Okay, she has to take the subway or a bus late at night so that she can, because she's working odd hours. And then not only that, she has to carry pepper spray with her because there's some man with a sex demon on him that's ready to pounce and rape her, which can result in children. Yeah, they are anti-ADOS, guy, and I've seen it. And it is so preposterous because none of these men want to take responsibility. The women have taken all the responsibility. I'll come on here and do readings for 8 hours a day just to prove it to you. I'll go live and do an 8-hour reading just to show you how much I work. I have no reason to lie about that. I'm not sitting around here. I'm cleaning up behind Jacob. I have to clean up behind Jacob all the time. A woman's job is very difficult. And then on top of that, we have to work. This is not a choice. I wish I could just say, oh, well, I would never walk away from my dream because this is my dream and I'm going to fulfill it regardless. Okay. But, there's a lot there's women out there ready to give up because they just try and they try and they try. And these men are so psychologically abusive to us. Another thing, psychological abuse needs to be illegal. This is how they are harming the communities. This is how they are creating the poor people and the mental illness within those poor people, and then the physical illnesses within those poor people. They are the ones the men that are abusing and taking and raping and committing incest and abuse and beating up on women, beating them, literally beating them down, beating them up, like men. Okay. These women are out here and they are vulnerable. I understand what you're doing. I respect what you're doing, some of the stuff that you're doing, but I'm sorry. Why can't we deal with the war on women? Why don't you care? Your wife, what's her name? Not Ivanka. Oh God, goddess. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. No disrespect. She actually threatened to sue anybody that calls her a prostitute. So your wife is even being disrespectful. Why is it that the president can't change the way society is treating women? Because please believe that, now in everyday society, I get treated and respected very well. But on YouTube, it's different because people are behind their camera and they're not right in your face. I had a man, I was walking up to Burger King, and I had a guy walk up to me and say, "Excuse me, ma'am, but what do you do for a living?" And I said, "I work professionally as a witch." And he walked away. He said, "Oh, okay, oops." Because I think he thought I was a working girl. This is the kind of disrespect that we're facing these days. And so is your wife. And it's very demeaning because your wife is the first lady. And they have disrespected your wife, called her a whore, called her all kind of names. Have you addressed this? This should be addressed. So, if we start with that one little thing where we tell men, hey, stop communicating with these women like that. Stop saying that to them. If we can change the verbal abuse laws, then what a positive domino effect that would have on the world, on society, on the United States. If we would stop these men from being abusive maniacs, they're turning us into like literally we have to turn into to demons just to deal with them, just to fight them. They're literally forcing themselves on us. So just please don't cut no food to no babies, because those babies need to eat. That's all they have. Because you never know, they mama might be depressed. Their mama might be down and out because this man done beat her into the corner, told her she ain't gonna never be nothing, told her she ain't worthy of nothing, told her she a piece of crap, she just a hoe, she just a bitch, she's nothing. And this is in all communities. This is what needs to happen. So I'm all for it. Throw him in jail. Throw him in jail. Seriously. And don't give them, you know what? Give them 5-minute phone calls. Don't let them talk to too many people too soon, because the first thing they're going to do when they get on their horn is they're going to ask somebody to stalk their baby mama, or and stalk their kids. Let me ask you a question. What do you think it is doing for the economy, these children being raised not in a broken home, but with broken values? What do you think is happening? These children are listening to their dad talk abusive to the mother. They're watching her get beat up. The fathers are abusing the children. This is the reality of the world that we live in. Yes, we know that there are aggressive women. And for me, I'm sorry, I can't be in no abusive relationship. I will fight back and win. So I know for a fact that I can defend myself against a man. So I would never be in that relationship. But we got young girls that are coming up and they want them younger and younger so that they can, just do whatever they want to do to them. And it's so horrible. It really is. So if you really want to help the community, which I don't know if that's what you're doing, I thought that the president was supposed to be there to help, which is why, it's so sad what you see society go through, and the fact that we do have so many people that are dependent on that program, but they should be. They have nothing else to turn to. They don't know. They've, I've talked to so many abused women, and many of them don't react the way I do. Okay, I was shell shocked. I went to war when I got out of an abusive relationship, but there's a lot of women, they'll get depressed, they'll get suicidal. So that's why I try to uplift these women. So when I was on here earlier talking, guys, I wasn't talking about the women. I was talking about the men that purposely produce these children knowing that they don't have to take care of them because somebody else will. That's what I'm talking about. Because these deadbeat fathers, they're hiding behind the children just like Nino Brown. They out there committing all kind of crimes. Trust me. And they know it. And they're not being jailed for it because people just see them as they're distracting and scapegoating. You know what I'm saying? A man that would not take care of his kids is capable of murder. Because if you don't take care of your kids, you're committing murder. You're murdering your own children because you decided, I'm not going to take care of you. And then when I see your mama doing it, I'm going to beat her down to the ground. Every chance, every opportunity that I get. Okay? Yes, Nikita Tills. Thank the goddess Tillis, Nikita Tillis, for getting you out of that situation. Because many of them, they don't care. You can tell them, well, he beat me. Well, shut up then. You shouldn't have been talking back. But I wasn't even, I just got like this. The older that I got, I was very submissive back then, and I was being beat. Literally because he was high off of, you know. So what? So what do you know what I'm saying? And this is the case for a lot of men. Like, it's not, y'all act like this is a minority. No, I have seen women that were married to rich men that as soon as they left, they had nothing. They had nothing. They left that man and had nothing in their pocket. And you know what? Not only did that man use his money and power and influence to destroy her even more. Imagine a man that has money and what he can do to you. They sometimes can be worse. Sometimes. Because they lie too. The ones with money, they lie too. So money doesn't mean anything. This is about the moral compass. You know what I'm saying? Some of these male YouTubers should be in jail. I agree. Because not only are they disrupting businesses for other people, such as myself, but they are also committing crimes outside of YouTube. And then they're also not taking care of their children. They're not. They try to make it look like they balling. $10 donation here, $20 donation there. That's not going to pay a light bill. That's not going to pay the gas bill. That's not going to pay the cable bill. That's not going to pay the internet bill. It might pay the internet bill. But that's not, you know what I'm saying? So, give them the reality of what it actually costs to raise a child. Give them that reality. I think that they've already done that. And, people are like, well, I don't have that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, the reason why you probably don't have it is because you just don't understand how to get it. Maybe you've got financial blocks that you need to clear, but I think it's very sinister. Because you know what? As a mother, you have an instinct to take care of your children. And as a father, you have an instinct to take care of your children. You wouldn't even be able to sleep at night. If you were, you know what? If I feel like I don't have it for my kids, man, I'll stay up for days at a damn time. If I feel like if I feel like I'm short, man, I stay up all night. I can't go to sleep. Go to sleep how? When I know I gotta feed these children. They don't experience that. They don't. And they should. They should know how it feels to be a responsible adult and be expected to react like a responsible adult. But instead, they're being ignored. And in the meantime, the communities are being torn down. Women and children are living in poverty. You know how many women that I know that are living in poverty right now as we speak? There's no excuse for that. It isn't. I think that a lot of these women, they're going to pick themselves up out of that. They are. They're going to pick themselves up. They're going to forget about all of the disgusting things that was said about them from their family, the men in their family, or maybe even just the men in their life. I know that I've talked to a lot of women who had abusive men in their family, abusive fathers, abusive husbands, abusive boyfriends. In fact, I've actually seen families that will pull the man off to the side and say, beat her. It's almost like Miss Seeley. They'll tell them to beat you because they mad at you, because they don't like you for whatever reason, just because they need a victim. You know what I'm saying? So these women should be able to carry forth without that kind of pressure. Instead, they're even being allowed to commit welfare fraud. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. I hope things get better. I'm truly praying, and I'm gonna pray for him to not cut benefits. I'm gonna actually do some work to pray for him to not cut benefits to children, because those children need that money. I'm just keeping it real with you, though. Oh my goodness. Because the next step is gonna get cut to children too. That's gonna be the next step. So I feel like it's something that I feel like you should get yourself prepared for. And any man that you're talking to, he should be talking about progression. Okay? It's right there, baby. They should be talking about progression and stepping up. What? Hold on, you guys. So be selective about the men that you deal with. If you see a man degrading a woman, he's going to degrade you too. What makes you think he's going to treat you any better? If you see a man talking that way, being down on the women in his community, why would you go and have a child with him? So pay close attention, because right now in this here age of Aquarius, everybody telling the truth about themselves these days. So yeah, I want the younger folk to be a lot more smarter about what they're doing. Yes, my child did have a child at a young age. That was her decision. That child is so strong, headstrong. She is very willful. So, but she has a supportive mother to where, my grandbaby and my daughter are going to be okay. She's still going to be successful. I'm going to fight for that. I would never. So the women of the community, we have to stop saying your life is ruined because you had a baby. We got to stop saying that to our kids. We got to stop saying that to our daughters, because that's patriarchy. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, guys, I love you guys so much. I will see you guys later. I'm about to get some rest because we had a huge breakthrough. Okay, we did. And we're going to fight for these women and these children. I don't care. Even if I'm mad at you as a woman, I want to see you progress, because that's what's fair and that's what's just. Okay. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you for coming, you guys. Love and light.